Today, I'm rebuilding Borussia Dortmund's best team ever. If you guys follow soccer at all, you know that Dortmund is having a struggle of a year. I believe they're like 11th or 12th right now, but they've also put out some of the best players of all time. Players like Erling Haaland, Lewandowski, Christian Pulisic, if you're American, and many more. And today we're going to find out if we can rebuild Dortmund and take them back to their glory days using these players. Kind of. Now, like I mentioned before, I'm going to be rebuilding Dortmund back to their former glory. But the way we're going to do that is a little bit different. Obviously, these players are still out and about and destroying leagues across the world. Dembele, Pulisic, Haaland, Bellingham, right? But we can't afford those players. Even if I took over the primary Dortmund team, we can't afford those players. And Dortmund is a little bit too far gone from buying players to fix where they're at. We're going back to Dortmund's roots, and we are going to build this Dortmund team from scratch using the academy. And that's why we've taken over the Dortmund 2 team, so we can give these players time to grow and become the best versions of themselves. We're going to be looking for players like a Norwegian striker, a Polish striker, an English center mid, an English left wing, a Jadon Sancho regen, and so much more in this team. I am excited. And you know we're going to have that Swiss goalkeeper. I think they've had a Swiss goalkeeper for at least the last 13 seasons, but I am pumped. Let's get into it. And you already know one of the first things we need to go for is that striker, that Norwegian striker, hopefully building the next Haaland regen. We need a goalkeeper early on if we want them to end up being fantastic. So off to Switzerland he goes. Shortly after that, we now have found a 5-star scout. So we are going in for him, and we are going to work on that center mid position, that Jude Bellingham English center mid. To pair up with him, I'm hoping to find someone pretty special. Okay, and after our first scouting reports have come through, we found 3 prospective strikers and 2 prospective English midfielders. However, Ruben Holloway here, he's 17 years old and 63 rated. I'm going to do exactly what Dortmund did with Bellingham and promote him now and get him in that starting 11. I'm very much hoping that we found our striker here in Avram Olsen. We're going to take Olsen for now, put him up top, see what we can get out of him for the rest of the season. Just hope for the best. And now that our scout that was in Norway is back, we are sending him off to Morocco to look for a Moroccan right back. That's right, we're looking for the Ashraf Hakimi regen. We're going to go for one other defender here in a Swiss center back. Our Manuel Akanji regen is coming in clutch, hopefully. And our last scout is going out for an American right midfielder or right winger, however you want to put it. But Christian Pulisic is going to have his regen on the team as well. It was between him and Dembele, and I just have more fond memories of Pulisic. And after our scouts time in Morocco, we've come back with 3 prospects here: Slimani, Tagmawi, and El Basir. I think I have found our goalkeeper though. Alex Sommer looks like he's going to be a beast. So does Schweitzer, but he's 15 and he's not getting much growth right now. So I'm really hoping that we can get him that growth later on. Now that our Moroccan scout is back, it is time to send him back out into the world. We're sending him to Germany for a German center back, as Dortmund usually has a German center back. Mats Hummels, Nico Schlotterbeck, Jurgen Kohler, you name it. Our Swiss center back scout, that was a top. Our Swiss center back scout has found us 2 prospects here in Jonas Moser and Leonardo Kugler. I'm going to figure out which one of them is going to take over that role. I think it might be Moser for the time being, but Kugler does look pretty good. And our American scout has found us 3 prospects: Jay Scott here, Mark Cook, and Dylan Smith. We only have 2 positions left to fill for this starting 11, and we are going to do that by looking for our Polish striker, our Lewandowski regen, as well as our English left mid, our Sancho regen. So we're currently looking for our Mats Hummels or Schlotterbeck, whoever you want that to be, Lewandowski, and Jadon Sancho, or Jamie Bino Gittins regen, who knows. But this is what we're looking for, and we only have 1 more position to go after that, but I'm going to save that one as a surprise. All right, and after our first month having a scout out looking for our Jadon Sancho regen, Blake Myers has come through, 17 years old, 65 rated already, with 94 potential. I'm just going to get him in this team. I'm not going to let him waste away in our academy. I know that's not how the academy works, but I'm going to get him in. Along with him, Jay Scott seemed to shine through a little bit more than the others, so we are bringing him in as well, converting him currently to a right mid. And between Tagmawi and Fouad Slimani, Slimani seems to be the one with the highest potential. I'm taking him. Although Kugler is growing nicely, I think I'm going to take Moser and get him in this starting 11. And Alex Summers' potential is between 81 and 91, and I think that works for me. We're putting him in the starting 11. We currently have 2 prospects in the academy for this second center back spot, but otherwise we are just looking at filling our left back, our left center mid, and our striker. So Polish striker, Lewandowski regen. Left back, I'm looking for a Portuguese left back is who I'm going to go for a Rafael Guerreiro. And our center mid, if you didn't know it already, it's going to be a German center mid, a Marco Reus regen. I know he used to play wing, he used to play center mid, he used to play cam, he's played striker before. We're going to use him as a center mid next to Bellingham. And this is going to be the team. All right, and here's our second center back. Weber here can now convert into a center back. It was between Otto and Weber, and Otto was going to take 61 weeks. Weber is being converted to a center back, and we are bringing him up to the first team. And by the end of season 1, I believe the season's actually over, we have found our left back, Emilio Estevez, 64 rated, and Leon Albrecht is going to be our Royce regen. But we have not been able to find a good striker prospect yet for Lewandowski. So we're going to keep searching for that, hopefully finding something good. But let's see what the team looks like. And at the end of season 1, this is what the team looks like. We have our Holland prospect Olsen. We have our Pulisic regen, our Jadon Sancho, our Royce and our Bellingham in the midfield, our Hakimi, Hummels, Akanji, and Guerrero regens. Whether you want this to be Marvin Hitz, Roman Berkey, Gregor Kobel, whatever Swiss goalie of your choosing, that's who this can be. The only thing we need to replace is this striker, Lewandowski regen. I'm going to try and keep as many of these players as possible as backups. It looks like a lot of them are upset, so I'm not excited to see how the season went, but let's get into season number 2, and hopefully it's a little bit better. All right, and to fill in the squad depth numbers, I am going to search around for some other Dortmund grades. So we're going to Gabon for an Aubameyang prospect. We're also heading to France for a right-wing Dembele prospect, and we are still searching for a Polish striker. It has been a bit of a struggle so far, and after searching and searching and searching, unfortunately the best Polish prospect we have found at the striker position is this guy, Peter Wojcik here. He's only 60 rated right now, 16 years old, but his potential is between 79 and 94. So I'm going to promote him. I'm going to start getting that potential growing now. Oh, this is going to be a tough rebuild, I can already tell. And that scout who was searching for the Polish striker is now being sent off to Armenia for, you guessed it, Mkhitaryan. And we're now sending a scout out to Belgium to look for our Thorgan Hazard regen. I also completely forgot to show you, but this is the starting 11 with all of our players in. But we already do have 2 players past the 70s and many players on the cusp. And on our bench, we have 2 French regens here that I'm hoping one of them can turn into a great Dembele prospect, as well as Canare coming in, 63 rated Gabonese right wing that we're trying to convert to a striker. Right, and in the first real full season of this team doing well, I guess first half a season, we're here on January. Olsen is leading the scoring with 6 goals in 22 games. Scott is right there with him, 4 goals and 2 assists. The fact that we're not scoring many goals, though, doesn't bode well for how we are in the league. And like every good rebuild, it's got to get worse before it gets better. So we are down 2 points away from the bottom of the table. Thankfully, we can't get relegated, but this is a struggle for sure. We have lost 7 games, and we've only scored 16 goals total. So we're going to need to fix that. Not exactly sure how, but we're not doing too hot. And we found our Mkhitaryan regen. We are going to promote him and let him ride the bench for a little bit. Regardless of how the season went, I see good things here because we've got 3 players in the team of the season, and then one of them's our goalkeeper, so that's gotta mean good things. Gotta mean good things. And unfortunately, it looks like Alongo Yumbo, who was one of the players who was in this starting team, is taking all the goals. But Olsen ended up with another 6 goals in the second half of the year. Scott on the score sheet. Weber as well. We're starting to see some upgrades as well. We got several players up in the 70s now, so that's a good start. And we took ourselves from 18th to 11th in that second half of the year. Okay, I think we might be onto something with these players. I don't have many more players to sign from the academy, and then it's just about growth and just figuring out how long is it going to take for us to win the Champions League. And like I said, Dortmund is known for their Swiss goalkeeper, so I went out and found another Swiss goalkeeper to be our backup. Julian Srivelli is coming in as our backup. And looking through the squad hub, apparently Srivelli has potential to be special tagged, so I am sending him on loan instantly. I don't even care that we don't have a backup. I'm sending him out. And thankfully, so does Ruben Holloway, our starting center mid. He's been here from the jump, and he apparently has potential to be special. I'm excited for this guy. So does our Armenian prospect that just came up. Okay, sending him on loan. And our Polish striker who's only 62 rated. This is a crazy rebuild so far, and I'm all for it. And with that, season number 2 is over. As you can see in the top right, our manager rating is not the best, but that's because season number 3 is where it all begins. All right, and even though we have the players that I want for the most part, Dortmund never stops looking for young talent, so I'm not going to stop either. I'm going to be sending these scouts out for the usual suspects that Dortmund tries to go for, like the US, England, and Germany. And heading into the first game of season number 3, this is what the squad is looking like. We only have, I think, 4 players that aren't at the 70 mark in the starting 11, and the bench is looking pretty dang solid. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to see how this team grows, and more excited to see, can we get promoted in the first full season with the Dortmund rebuild. All right, we've hit the 1st of January in season number 3, and it looks like Myers, Olsen, Scott, and Wojcik are just killing it. 10 goals for Myers, 10 goals for Olsen. This season looks like it's going really well so far. How are our loan players doing? Srivelli is up 4 on his first 6 months on loan, and the Armenian regen is up to his 66. I think that's +4 as well. Him and Srivelli up +4 on their time on loan. That's awesome. We're also looking much better than season pass. We're also looking much better than the first 3 seasons. We are only 4 points away from the top 3, and we're only 7 points away from top 2. Really, it's not that bad of a season. I think that if we start winning some more games, we can pull through here. We got 7 draws is the biggest issue. 7 wins is great. 7 draws, not so great. And from the academy, we're going to be promoting a couple of players here. First one is going to be Carl Hanheide, or Hanheide, I have no clue. His potential is between 90 and 94. So I'm promoting him and sending him straight on loan. I'm also going to be promoting Lewis Rowley and Ibrahim Greaves as some more backup option as we send some of our better players out on loan since they can't play in the starting 11. But we do have some fantastic prospects in this academy right now. Matt Davis is between 87 and 94 potential right now. And Frankie Phillips left mid between 88 and 94 at 15 years old. We have some beasts coming through the academy right now. This is becoming like a true Dortmund academy. And a little bit of an upgrade on last year. We now have, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in the team of the season, including both our strikers and both our outside mids and our goalie again. Dude, this is going insane. Olsen and Wojcik had the years of a lifetime. Olsen up to a 77 as well. 25 goals, 18 assists. Wojcik 17 and 7. Myers 14 and 5 as well, and Scott 12 and 6. This season was crazy. Ruben Holloway is almost an 80 rated player at 20 years old, and our goalkeeper is 75 rated. We sent a couple more players on loan this season than last year, so let's see how they did. Brevelli up to a 68 at 17 years old. He's gonna be a superstar. Hanheide up +5 overall, and our Armenian prospect up from a 62 to a 68 in his first year on loan. So most of these guys will probably be getting a second loan move, but the question is, how did we do in the league? But Matt Davis and Frankie Phillips are definitely looking still like studs. So I think I'm going to promote those two. And after what is definitely our best season yet, we are getting promoted to the German 2nd division by 5 points. It was close. It was very close, but it was a great year from us. Only 4 losses. That's amazing. And this team is pretty amazing. Just look at that. We finally have every single player over the 70 marker, with plenty of them moving up closer towards the 80s than not. And our bench and reserve players are really not doing half bad whatsoever. So I'm going to send a couple more players out on loan next year for sure. Probably just the same guys that were out this year, but we're moving up. We're moving up. And this team is continuing to grow like crazy. And with a fantastic season number 3, we are getting promoted for season number 4. And as always, the scouts are out. They're going out for 9 months. We have 1 going to Norway just in case we need another Norwegian striker, 1 going to Germany looking for more defenders, and 1 going to Belgium looking for a little bit of a combination between midfielders and defenders. And from the academy, we're going to be bringing up Leonard Janssen, Malt Becker, and Peter Rowley. We do already have a Rowley, so maybe this can be the good brother combo. Who knows? All right, 1st of January here, and Olsen is almost up to an 80 rated player. Albrecht, our center mid, has 9 goals and 3 assists. Scott with 8 and 1. Myers 5 and 0. Wojcik only 4 and 1. That's disappointing. He's up to a 72, which is nice, but very disappointing on his goal scoring. How are our loan players doing? Matt Davis, crazy good growth. Frankie Phillips as well. He came up with Matt Davis. 66 rated is awesome. Carl Hanheide up to a 70. He might just come back and take that left back role. Same with our Armenian prospect. I don't want to try and say his name if you haven't noticed. Up to a 70. And Srivelli, our goalkeeper of dreams, 71 rated in his 2nd year on loan. But we are currently having a great year in the Bundesliga 2 division. Only 3 draws, but 4 losses. We are up in 2nd place. It's gonna be close. It looks like there's a lot of teams on our tail, but we're in 2nd place. That's a great start. As long as we can get into the promotion playoffs, I think that's great enough for season number 4. Season 4 is now over, and we have 4 players in the team of the season, so I'm really hoping that that means we're at least top half of the table. And Avram Olsen is scoring 30 goals with 15 assists. Wojcik had a great second half of the year. Scott and Myers as well, just destroying out there. This team is fantastic. Holloway's an 84. What the... Albrecht 80, Holloway 84, Olsen 80, our goalkeeper 79. How did our big loan players do? Matt Davis, 71 rated at 17 years old, is insane. Hanheide up to a 72. I think he might need to take that starting left back role. And the Armenian friend of dreams, 72 rated. And we have done it back-to-back promotions from the Bundesliga 3rd division to to the Bundesliga second division. We were here for 1 year and we're up to the Bundesliga. Season 5, we are in the Bundesliga. That is crazy. Okay. All right. We're going to do it. We're here. We're going to the Bundesliga. And I wouldn't ask for a better team. For some reason, they're complacent for winning the German second league, but this is the squad that's getting us there. Our defense could really use some more dynamic player potential, but otherwise, this team's looking good. Wojciech is 19, up to a 74. He's a tidy little player right now. And Olsen, 21 years old, 80 rated, hoping that we can boost him up in the Bundesliga. Now, heading into the Bundesliga, we need to be very, very strategic. Our team is not Bundesliga winning worthy, let alone top 4 worthy. And as I was going through figuring out who's going on loan, who's staying, I noticed that the Rowley brothers, Lewis Rowley and Peter Rowley, are both 67 rated. I think I might just keep them on the bench for now. The Rowley brothers are doing fine. And to fill up a bench a little bit more for the Bundesliga season, we're going to be promoting Marvin Bauer and Woitz. I think that's the best way to pronounce that, from the academy to the first team. Along with them, Ollie Powell and Thor Johannesson, the most Norwegian name I've ever seen. They're both coming up as well. But without further ado, let's get into our first season in the Bundesliga. All right, we have hit the 1st of January. Olsen's up to an 81, 14 goals, 1 assist. We're looking all right overall. Holloway up to an 86. Dude, this guy, I told you this was the Bellingham regen. Wojciech is almost hitting the 80s. He's getting closer. Strivelli really wants that starting spot, man. He's up at a 76 right now. 74 for Hanheide. 74 for our Armenian friend. 74 for Marvin Bauer, who just came up from the academy, and we just sent him on loan. He's got 2 years here, so that's going to be crazy. But with Myers, Albrecht, and Summer all over 80 rated, our team has got to be doing somewhat good in the Bundesliga. All right, we are not in the relegation zone, but we're not far off. I believe, let's see, 16th. I know you can't see it because my face stands in the way. 16th is at 12 points. So we're only 1 game above that. However, we have 4 wins so far, which is great. Good to see that we're actually winning in our first season in the Bundesliga. And we're not too far off going up. We're 1 game away from 8th as of right now. So it's a very close bottom half of the table. That being said, getting up to 7th and above is going to be a little bit tougher. I just need to stay alive and stay in the Bundesliga for this season, but all looking well. And we are into the quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal against Wolfsburg. Now, while there's not anybody I want to bring up from the academy right now, we've got 2 names that we're watching. We're watching Mayes here and Wayne Wood. He's been with us since I believe he was 14 or 15, one of the two, but he's been around for a bit. And his potential, along with Mayes, is between 87 and 93. So they're going to be beasts, winning if they come up to the first team. All right, the season is over. Our first season in the Bundesliga, and Olsen ended up with 21 goals, Wojciech with 12, Scott with 10 assists was nice, and Holloway up to an 87. Dude, this guy's insane. This whole team is looking fantastic. Myers up to an 82. I didn't even realize that. This guy's becoming an actual Sancho regen at this point. Albrecht, our Royce regen, up to an 83. He's been going in the background pretty quietly, but 9 assists, not so quiet. Our lone players are, lo and behold, the best players to watch for right now. Hanheide to a 75. Our Armenian friend up to a 75. Crivelli hit 78 rated. If he comes back and still has potential to be special tag, I am going to start him. Matt Davis to a 75. And Marvin Bauer in his first year on loan hit 74 rated. Now, our current goalkeeper is 81 rated, so I may continue to loan out the other one until he gets past the 81 mark. But again, if he has potential to be special tag, I'd rather him get that growth here than anywhere else. That being said, we narrowly survived the Bundesliga this year. I know you can't see it, but Werder Bremen finished on 31 points. We're at 39. We were only 8 points off of being relegated, or at least going down to the playoffs. And we were way off going to the Champions League, so that's going to have to be a goal for next year. Looks like Köln beat Leverkusen for the DFB Pokal. Bayern win the Super Cup. Inter win the Champions League. Napoli won the Europa League. And Barcelona won a Conference League. I'm sure that'll fit nicely in their trophy cabinet. But this team is starting to be worthy of contending for some of those top spots. I'd say top 10 next year is our goal for sure. We were kind of forced to bring up 3 players from the academy because they were unsettled. Wood is here along with Hoffman and Mayes. All 3 of them came up from the academy. I'm sending them all on loan next year. But as I want to get top 10 next year, I'm going to be cutting off a lot of this dead weight. Anybody who doesn't have a special tag is pretty much going to be gone. But heading into season number 6, I want a lot of the same, but I want a lot more out of this team as well. I did keep an averagely higher bench than we've had in the last couple seasons, including our old left back has now moved to the bench. I changed his contract and all that as well. But really hoping that having a higher bench as well will push us up to that top half of the table. But we need this defense to start getting some more growth. If Weber can hit 80, maybe the others will start to follow suit. Who knows? All right, first half of the season is done with. Olsen up to an 83 with 10 goals, 1 assist. Wojciech 5 goals, 6 assists. He's been pretty much feeding the goals, it looks like, to Olsen, but he hit the 81 rating. That's what I wanted. We have an 81 and an 83 rated striker now, an 85 and an 87 rated center mid. Myers up to 84. Weber, our center back, did hit 81. That is perfect. And Crivelli on loan hit 80. Dude, this guy, I think he's going to be our starting goalie next year. He has to be, right? Matt Davis hit a 77 on loan. Same with Frankie Phillips and Marvin Bauer. Dude, these prospects we're getting are insane. And it's working out okay. We're in 11th place right now. We're still, again, 8 points above relegation, but we are not far off moving up this table, especially into one of those European spots. We're only 7 points off 5th place, 8 points off 4th, and then we're a bit ways away after that. But the other Dortmund, of course, is winning the league currently. It seems like they fixed their own rebuild. And this team looks pretty good. We could be moving into a European spot for sure. The real upgrades we need, of course, are in the defense. Hanheide has grown +1, but hopefully we can get some more out of him. Our center back, Moser, has not grown at all. Same with Slimani. So we're going to need help there somehow, some way. Scott as well could definitely use an upgrade. But for the time being, things are looking good. And because of our center back not doing so hot, I'm going to put Haug in there. He just came back from his loan. He has an exciting prospect tag, and he's 73 rated. It's only 2 ratings less. I'm going to put him at the center back role and see if he can grow. End of the season is here, and once again, Olsen up to an 84, but 22 goals in the Bundesliga is nothing to turn your nose at. Wojciech hit an 83, so we have an 83 and an 84 rated striker now. Myers up to an 85. Hanheide almost hit the 80s this year. He was close. That was my goal for him. He was close. And out on loan, Srivelli hit 82. He is coming back. He is going to be our goalkeeper next season. And while we're not on the bottom half of the table, my goal was to be top 10, and we just barely did it. We hit 10th by 1. Like, we were 1 point off of 9th. We're a little bit ways away from anything else, truthfully. And the other Dortmund wins the league. Of course, as soon as we join, they're winning everything. But we're here. We're top 10. We're starting to move up. We just need to, like, stop drawing. 2, stop losing. 12 losses? What is that all about? Either way, we're going to get into season number 7, and hopefully just keep pushing up, man. We're in the Bundesliga. We just got to push forward. It looks like Dortmund also won the cup, not us. Inter Milan win the Super Cup. Dortmund won a Champions League, so they won a treble this year. Valencia won the Europa League, and Aston Villa beat Mainz on penalties for the Conference League. All right, and we're getting closer to the first day of the season in season number 7, and we've only made 2 big changes to the team, and that is Srivelli is starting this season, at least the first half, and we're going to see how he does. And Bauer is going to take over that right mid spot. I'm going to convert him to a right mid so he gets those benefits, but he's going to take over that right mid spot because he is 2 ratings higher than Scott was, and he's just so far better overall. So I'm hoping he can do the same for us in the Bundesliga. All right, here on the 1st of January, Wojciech up to an 85 is kind of insane to see. He still has potential to be special tag, so hopefully he keeps on growing. But 9 goals, 2 assists. Holloway up to a 90 rated center mid. This guy was the perfect choice for that Jude Bellingham regen. Marvin Bauer in his first half season with us is up 2 ratings, and Olsen also 85 rated as well. Out on loan, Matt Davis has hit the 80 mark, and Srivelli in his first half season is up to an 85. This guy's going to be so good. But in the league, we're struggling once again. We're in 11th halfway through the season. And yes, we're not far off from pushing up, but we just keep on losing. 6 losses with this team. I know our defense is a bit of a struggle, but it shouldn't be this bad. Like, this team should definitely be pushing for top half of the table, probably Conference League at the very least. Yes, that defense is a struggle, but it's not that bad compared to a lot of teams that do make it into those competitions. Guess we'll just have to see how the second half of the season goes. All right, things are looking good so far as we have 4 players in the team of the season in the Bundesliga. I very much hope that means top 4. And Wojciech had his best season yet. Olsen as well, 28-6 and 24-11 for our 2 strikers. These guys were definitely good choices for sure. And Wojciech as well, he started off as a 60 rated card when Olsen was 76 rated. So he has made a crazy comeback. Bauer up to an 83 in his first full year. Ruben Holloway, man, 91 rated, 24 years old. Blake Myers is 88 rated. Our Sancho regen is fantastic. But Frankie Phillips out on loan has slowly crept up to him. He might become our backup next year. As for our loan players, the Armenian Beast is 81 rated now. Matt Davis is 81 rated. And both Lewis Rowley And Peter Rowley hit a 75. Dude, these guys are like twins. I know they're different ages, but they grow at the same rate. But we seem to have a much better second half of the year, making it up to third. We beat out the other Dortmund team by 3 points. We're just getting scored on too much, it seems like. 47 goals against. I mean, we're pretty similar to those around us. Just we needed a bit more. We needed a bit more of those draws into wins, obviously. And 7 losses is not great when we're fighting for top of the table. Anyways, we're going to the Champions League next year. I'm going to need all the help I can get. And it looks like the other Dortmund won another DFB Pokal. They also won the Super Cup. Man City win the Champions League. Frankfurt win the Europa League. And Real Betis win the Conference League. And man, this squad is good. But like I said, we're going to need all the help we can get next season. So I am bringing in the big guns. Every big player we have, whether they're on loan or otherwise, is coming to the team. I'm sending out everybody, of course under 70 rated, but I'm sending everybody else out. And we're just bringing the big guns into season number 8, I believe it is. Champions League. Here we come. And as I'm going through the loans for this season, it looks like Dortmund wants a little bit of our player, Maez here, who has potential to be special tag. We're going to reject that. He's not going to Dortmund. Come on now. And this is what the starting 11 looks like heading into season number 8. I'm going to stick with 8. I think that's what it is. This team looks good, man. I like everything about this team. I'm impressed with this team. I'm really impressed with this goalkeeper, Srivelli here. 87 rated already, while Summer hasn't grown a bit since Srivelli came in. This bench looks way better than it has in the past as well. We did bring back Wayne Wood as a backup striker, as well as his contract was expiring, so hopefully he does well for us off the bench. And Chamberlain here, I noticed, was getting some really good growth out on loan. His contract was expiring as well, so I brought him back. He also has potential to be special tag, so I'm going to send him out on loan this year again, just to see what happens. But if we don't win the Champions League this year, he may just come back and take over at that role. And our first Champions League phase is out and ready to see. We're starting with Newcastle, then Juventus and Besiktas, Bergamo Calcio and Midtjylland, Galatasaray, and then ending off with Man City and Monaco. This is going to be tough, but I think we can make it pretty far. This is our first season in the Champions League, season number 8. And we're doing all right so far, at least I'd say. Olsen with 15-3, Wojciech with 13-5. By the way, 88 rated, 89 rated, 90 rated Myers at the left mid role is crazy. Holloway 92, Davis out on loan 83. He had one more year left, so I just left him out there. Marvin Bauer is 86 rated. What a guy. And the Rowley brothers, even when separated, both still same rating. But yeah, Peter Chamberlain, he's going to be a beast. 82 rated on loan at Leverkusen. He's getting game time at Leverkusen. But the biggest one of them all, Srivelli, 89 rated, 22 years old. He's only 22. This guy's insane. This team is insane. And for the first time ever, we're kind of in a title race. We're 6 points off the title right now. We're in 4th. That is hopefully going to be good for us. It looks like everyone's kind of similar as well. We only have 2 losses. The top 4 are all really neck and neck, so hopefully it continues that way. But in terms of Champions League, this season did not go as planned. We got knocked out in the league phase. 4 draws. If we converted any of those into wins, we would have moved on, but we didn't. So we are going out of the Champions League in our first attempt. And the season has come to an end. Olsen took the reins again, 26 goals, 3 assists, but Wojciech 90 rated now, 22 goals, 5 assists. Myers 13-7. Davis out on loan at Frankfurt, 85 rated now, 10-10. I don't have a cam in this formation, but maybe I need one? Question mark. Bauer up to an 88. Holloway 92 still. Albrecht 89. And Peter Chamberlain on loan to Leverkusen. I think he still has a second year there. He's 83 rated. This guy is a beast. And we finally got our second center back up to the 80 rating mark. So how is 80 rated? Another year and the Rowley brothers are still 77 rated, but we ended up taking 2nd place in the Bundesliga, so definitely going back to the Champions League next year. Much better season from us. I don't exactly know what changed, if we're being honest. It just looks like we converted more of those draws into wins, so great year. Dortmund once again win the DFB Pokal. Manchester City win the Super Cup. PSG win the Champions League over Man City. Inter Milan win an all-Italian Europa League, and Stade Brestois win the Conference League. Srivelli a 91. We've got 2 84s and an 83 on the bench. We finally have a mostly 80 rated defense, and somehow we got knocked out in the Champions League in the league phase. So I don't know what else we need to do. Maybe I need to change some tactics, but this is the squad. We're going again to the Champions League, and we're making it further this year. It's the year 2033. 2033. It has been 9 years since we started this rebuild. And it's time, man. It's time we make it not even just further in the Champions League. I need to win the Champions League soon. We've only got 6 years left. And a very sad departure here. A man who was here from the start. He was going to be our Pulisic regen, and he just did not get the growth we were hoping for. Jay Scott is leaving for Hull City. He did great for us in the first couple seasons, but ever since then, he has been stuck at a 77 rated card. So, unfortunate for him. He is gone. Thank you for your service. Okay, the league phase is set. Champions League round 2. We play Braga and Bergamo Calcio, Lyon, PSG and Galatasaray, Dinamo Zagreb, and ended off with Slavia Praha and Atletico Madrid. So I would argue that's a little bit easier of a league phase than last year. We just need to qualify. We didn't even qualify for the playoffs last year. I would love the playoffs. All right, we are, for the first time ever this rebuild, it took 9 seasons, but we are first in the Bundesliga, and it's a tie. It's only on goal difference, and it's only a +2 goal difference. It's got us here, but we are first in the Bundesliga. And Wojciech, 21 goals in 26 games so far, 92 rated. He is killing it. Olsen is having a slower season, but still 13-2 in half a season is great. 15-6 for a left mid is also just crazy. Chamberlain on loan is up to an 85, and apparently he's winning team of the week like week after week, so he is just, I don't even know if I want to bring him back. He seems like he's doing fine where he's at. But Holloway up to a 93. He has been the stud of this team since the start. Our Bellingham regen has just been outstanding. And some of our backups are still growing like crazy. The Armenian GOAT is 85 rated, Matt Davis 86 rated, and Frankie Phillips 85 rated. This is like the Jamie Bino Gittins to our current Jadon Sancho. Another year, and the Rowley brothers back at it again. But we end up topping the Champions League. 6 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss in the Champions League phase. That's complete reversal of what we did last year. Complete difference. And very, very unfortunate news here. Apparently Davis was unhappy with his playing time, and he had asked for a transfer, submitted a transfer request more accurately, and he has gone to Lyon for 132 mil. Very unfortunate. He was going to be a superstar for us. All right, first leg of our Champions League round of 16 against Villarreal. Can we take the first leg? 2-1, it goes to us, but it's still close. All right, second leg here, and Bauer has a red card, so this is going to be interesting on how this goes. Let's find out. And we take it 2-0. We're moving on to the next round. And in our quarterfinal matchup, unfortunately, we're facing a familiar team here in Leipzig, and Wojciech has a red card. What is up with our team? Just fighting everybody. Anyways, how does the first leg go? We lose 2-1. Okay, it all comes down to the second leg. We come into the second leg 1 goal down, but we come back with 1 striker up, a 92 rated striker at that. Can we get the comeback against Leipzig? We do, and then we lose on penalties. We missed 3 penalties in a row. 4 penalties total. Oh my god, we're terrible at penalties. We miss 4 penalties to get knocked out of the Champions League by a Bundesliga team. Alright, we may not have won the Champions League or even made it that far, but we just got a cutscene coming through for player of the season, and that looks like it's our striker. Wojciech is winning. Our Lewandowski regen is winning the Ballon d'Or player of the season, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is. Reminiscent of 2020 when Lewandowski should have won, or was it 2021? One of the two. Either way, Peter Wojciech has won player of the season. Alright, and we end season number 9 narrowly winning the league. It looks like we got a couple more draws than I was hoping for in the second half of the year, but we came out on top all the same. We also win the DFB Pokal 7-2 against Stuttgart in the final. Where did they rank? Oh, Stuttgart was 8th. That makes a little more sense now. Inter Milan win the Super Cup. Arsenal went on to win the Champions League. Liverpool beat Frankfurt on penalties in the Europa League, and the Conference League goes to Newcastle. And Peter Wojciech, I see why he won now. 43 goals and 14 assists for this guy. 93 rated. Olsen 31-10. Myers 18-9. This season was crazy for everybody. And Chamberlain on loan up to an 86. 6 goals and 3 assists at Leverkusen on loan. And for the first time in a long time, the Rowley brothers are not the same rating. Who would have thought? Not me. But this team right here should be going to a final, at least. A Champions League final, at least. In true Dortmund fashion. We have the best attack in the world. Some of the best players in the world. and can't seem to find a defense that knows how to do their job. So it's going to be a struggle. We only have 5 seasons left to do it, including this next one, season number 10. Let's get it done. Surely it won't take longer than 10 seasons to win the Champions League. And heading into season number 10, I told you I want to win the Champions League now. And so I am bringing everyone. Probably going to cause some issues. There's probably going to be some players that leave this season. But we've got to go all out if we want to win a Champions League. I am bringing everybody. We've got our Armenian beast. We've got both of the English right mid, left mid prospects. They just keep on coming out. Maez, our Thorgan Hazard regen, has hit an 86 on loan. Dude, we've got everybody here. Everybody is here. Even the bad ones. And we're just going to see what happens in season number 10. Champions League this year looks a little bit more difficult, starting with Liverpool and Sevilla, into Genk, then LOSC Lille and Slavia Praha, Shakhtar Donetsk, and in January we end with Manchester City and Real Betis. Definitely our toughest Champions League phase yet. Alright, we've hit January and Olsen is finally past the 90 barrier, but he's up to a 91 with 11 goals and 3 assists. Wozciak 10 goals, 2 assists. Myers is in on it. Albrecht is in on it. Everyone is in on the action this season. Even our left back up to an 87 with 3 goals this season. Love it. Standings, on the other hand, we are currently 6th. That being said, we're not crazy far off top 4, which is really all we need. We won the Super Cup against Frankfurt by January, so that's nice. And we are currently, I will say, undefeated in the Champions League. We play Man City and Betis next, so it's going to be tough. But we are currently first place in the Champions League. We did end up getting through undefeated, and we have made it to our round of 16 first leg against Monaco. The team looks insane with Holloway and Wozciak up to 94. Both of our outside midfielders are 92 rated now. We have 2 87 rated defenders. They've taken a while to upgrade, but they're getting there. And Olsen, of course, has a red card. So we're going to quick sim and hope round 1 goes well. We're up 1-0 heading into round 2. Olsen's back, but Albrecht is out for round 2. Let's see how that goes. And we win 4-1 in the second leg. We're moving on to the quarterfinals. Here we are in our first game of the quarterfinals against Milan, and unfortunately, Wozciak is injured. That is not what we wanted to see. Oh Lord, Olsen, please carry us on. Holland regen, carry us on, please. It's 0-0. It's all up to game number 2. Can we pass Milan? This is where we went out last year to Leipzig. Can we get past Milan to move on to the semifinals? And we do not. We are knocked out of the Champions League yet again with more possession and more shots in the quarterfinals. And in season 10, in season 11, we will be going back to the Champions League, but only barely by 3 points above Dortmund. We already knew we won the Super Cup. Bayern win the DFB Pokal. Liverpool win the UEFA Super Cup. Juventus ends up winning the Champions League. West Ham beat Bayern in the Europa League. And Manchester United took the Conference League. Still, what a season from Olsen and Myers and Bauer. Wozciak did get injured halfway through the season, or towards the end of the season, I guess that is. And still, 13 goals is nothing to be ashamed of for sure. This team is still insane. One of the best teams I've ever built. And if we don't win in season 11, I don't think we will. But we have to try. And the only casualty of this season is our star boy, Peter Chamberlain. He will not be starting for us next season because he wants to go on loan. So I will get that loan move at the start of season 11. But at least he doesn't want to leave permanently. He knows what's good here. And there he goes. Peter Chamberlain is leaving for Girona for 2 years on loan. Girona now has an 89 rated right mid. Scary. Once again for season number 11, I'm bringing the whole team with me. Everybody's here. Everybody's pitching in. And everybody is going to make sure that we win this year. And we have our Champions League draw, starting with Legia Warsaw and Real Madrid, Napoli and FC Basel, Monaco again, Villarreal again, then finishing off with Sparta, Praha, and Newcastle. So I think we should be able to get through. We've hit the 1st of January and we're 2nd in the Bundesliga. Perfect. And we are currently 3rd in the Champions League, tied for 2nd. Olsen and Wozciak side by side again, 92 and 94 rated. Bauer up to a 93, Holloway still 94. These guys are crushing it. Okay, so somehow the round of 16 game, I think just because of how the weeks lined up, the first game was simulated and it was a 1-1 draw. So we get to play the second round starting at a 1-1 draw. I was not expecting that, but look at this team, man. Just look at this team. We got a 95 rated striker and a 94 rated goalkeeper now. We've got to take this. We have to take this, right? And we do. We move on to the quarterfinals. We have made it to the quarterfinal once again, and we are facing ourselves. No, we're facing Borussia Dortmund in the quarterfinal. I'm a little bit stressed because we just played them in the league and actually lost. We just lost our last 3 games, and I don't know how. Nothing's changed, but can we take the first leg? And that is us. 5-2, we take the first leg. That is very good going into game 2. Game 2, here we are. This would be quite poetic if we knocked out the older brother club here to move on to the semifinals. Can we do it? And we do. 7-3 aggregate. All right, quarterfinals it is. Wait, semifinals. And in the semifinals, we face Arsenal. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be a tough game. I'm just hoping we're up to the challenge. Semifinal, game 1 against Arsenal. And we are down 2-0. Please don't make us go to season 12 game. We come into this game 2 goals down in season 11. We need a lot. We need a big comeback against Arsenal. Can we do it? And we do, and we win it on penalties. After getting knocked out on penalties last season, we win on penalties. 4-2 aggregate. Oh my lord. It was Wojciech and Olsen. Wojciech with a hat trick to carry us through to the finals. That hasn't even processed yet. Guys, we're going to the Champions League final. And it looks like it's going to be against Manchester City. It could have been versus Bayern Munich, which would have been very, very funny. But Dortmund 2, or the Dortmund Regens, against Manchester City for a Champions League final in season 11. And as always, Wojciech and Olsen just popped off. They had 67 goals between them. That is insane. Holloway with like, what is that, 40 goal contributions? Over 30 goal contributions. Still amazing. This team is insane. And this team is going to a Champions League final. They're there. They're in it against Manchester City. We ended up in a Champions League spot again in the Bundesliga, so at least we'll go back if we don't win. We did not win the DFB Pokal once again. And now it is time. We are in the Champions League final. It's been 11 long seasons, starting off with 60 rated players. Wojciech himself was 60 rated when we first had him. And now this team is in the Champions League. Not just the Champions League, but the Champions League final. Taking a quick trip down memory lane before we get into this final. Our star boy, Wojciech, and Olsen are our regens of Lewandowski and Haaland. In the midfield, we have Myers, who is our Jadon Sancho, Jamie Bino Gittins, any of those prime English left wing regen. We have Bauer, our German right mid who came up from the academy. Wasn't necessarily someone we planned on using after we had the Christian Pulisic regen Scott, but Bauer ended up coming out of the academy and being 10 times better than we ever imagined. Johannesson, same thing, came out of the academy. And although Slimani here was our original right back prospect, our Ashraf Hakimi regen, Johannesson ended up coming in as a Rierson substitute almost. Hanheide, same thing, came in at that left back role. After our Portuguese left back Esteves couldn't keep up, Hanheide came in as a Nico Schultz regen. Weber ended up being a great Mats Hummels replacement. He was fantastic. He was our captain this entire time. Or he's been our captain. I say was. I haven't played the game yet. And Haug, again, just another prospect from the academy. I don't think Dortmund's ever had a Norwegian center back, but it's just someone that Dortmund would look for. A young, very talented player coming into that role and taking over. And of course, the Swiss goalkeeper, Crivelli, came into this team and made his name. Can't forget about Summer though. Summer was here from the start and he held that spot down to get us where we are today. Our Henrik Mkhitaryan regen here on the bench, he stayed with us. Same with our second backup, Phillips. And Maez, our Thorgan Hazard regen, is still here to this day. The Rowley brothers are both here. I'd like to say maybe they're modeled after the early Bellingham brothers. But the two mainstays who never seem to falter this entire rebuild, Albrecht here, our Marco Reus regen. He played this center mid role perfectly. If you really want to, you can call this the Emre Can or the Julian Brandt regen and call this right mid the Reus regen. But Holloway, there is no mistaking our Bellingham regen is here. He was here. He was the first player in the team, and he's going to be the last one to leave. Holloway, what a player and what a team this is. But enough out of me. Let's get into the final. Can we win a Champions League final against Manchester City? And we are in. It took a little bit to get the camera angle going, but we are simulating, and we're just spectating, watching this Champions League final. I'm hoping for the best, and I'll make sure you're in there for the best moments. Manchester City on the top of the box with Erling Haaland. He takes a shot, but it's saved. Our 94 rated goalkeeper makes the save on Erling Haaland, the real Erling Haaland, not our Olsen regen. Or not, we gave them a free kick. Erling Haaland on top of a free kick, on top of the box. Jeremy Doku lines up with him. He goes for a shot, maybe not. Shot comes in, but it's way over. Doku, don't take free kicks ever again. That wasn't even at the goal. That was nowhere near the goal. That might come back to bite us later, but it's okay. Finally, our first real attack of the game. Dribbling in, ball comes into Olsen. It's a shot and it's saved. I think it was offsides though. Olsen, offsides. Brother, you're 92 rated. You should know what offsides is by now. We are on the counter attack now after stripping Man City of the ball, hoping we can make something out of this. We get the ball up into Olsen. Olsen takes a shot and it's saved. We get our first corner of the game. Myers on the corner. Jadon Sancho regen. This is exactly what would happen in real life too. Jadon Sancho on the corner. Sorry, Myers on the corner. He gets the ball in. Can we get a header here? We do not. The ball goes out top of the box. We win it back though. Can we get a shot off here? We get a shot off. And it's saved. I could not tell. I had to look over at my other screen real quick. I could not tell if that was in, but it's saved. 45th minute. We're hitting halftime, but we're making an attack. Ball into Olsen. Can he win it back? He cannot. I bet ref's calling the whistle here as soon as he passes this ball out. And it is halftime in this game, 0-0. And we are back in for the second half of football here. It's 0-0 against Manchester City, and we kick off. We need a goal early in this half, or even if we can just hold off until the end and get a late winner, that would be nice too. Currently dribbling down the wing, hoping that we can make something out of this attack here. Ball comes into Myers. Myers keeps it. Out to Albrecht. Back into Myers. Playing a little 2-on-2 over there. Wuschek with the ball. Shot. Goal. We get a goal, but it looks like it's offsides maybe? It is not offsides. We get a goal. I believe that's Bauer, our right mid. I think that is Bauer. It is. Bauer gets a goal out of a little tussle in the middle is the best way to put that. Ball bouncing around, player to player, comes in, shot. Bauer scores. He was not in the original plan for this team. We had Jay Scott over there. And then Bauer showed his worth on loan, came in, showed his worth in a Champions League final. Thank you, Bauer. We're up 1-0. It's the 70th minute. Usually this is where I'd look to make a sub. And look who they're subbing in. The Dortmund English left mid, Jamie Bino Gittens. I guess just Jamie Gittens now, but that's kind of funny. I did not know they had him. Man City's still pushing forward. They're on top of the box. Haaland is in the center, hoping he's not open. Can we get this ball back here? They take a shot, and it's saved off the crossbar and cleared away. That was very close. That was very, 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 very close. Thank you, crossbar. You're my best friend. Manchester City pushing forward once again. They're on top of the box. They take a shot, but it's blocked. Hopefully we can get a counter off here. It's intercepted instead, and Man City is pushing forward again. Haaland on top of the box. Out to Gittens. Back to Haaland. And we take the ball back, but we give it away. Oh, saved. 87th minute is here, and Man City have a corner to try and take the lead. Man City corner, 88th minute. We need to hold off here. We can't let them score here. And it's saved. Cervelli has it in his hands. Just keep it right out the clock, and we are getting that crossbar a jersey. It's the 90+0. We're going on. If we just keep this ball, keep possession, we have the win. Somebody get that crossbar a jersey. Can we win it? Ref, call the whistle. Ref, call the whistle. And that is game over. We have just won a Champions League final with a full team of Dortmund regens. That is insane. I wasn't expecting it to take this long, but I also wasn't expecting it to be against Manchester City. This team, Bauer, again, the player that I had no plans on using, wins it for us in this final against Manchester City. Wow. What a rebuild. What a season. And of course, we've got to see the celebrations. I don't think we won anything else this year, but winning the Champions League is good enough for me. We just won the Champions League in 11 seasons, I believe it was. 11 seasons. We had a comeback against Arsenal. We've had so many ups and downs in this rebuild. But finally, the ultimate high, we have won the Champions League. And this was the team to do it. Wuschek, Olsen, Albrecht, Bauer, the player that we didn't really expect to have. He won the Champions League for us. I'm sad I didn't get to see more of the Armenian god in this rebuild, but he just never hit the level that some of these players did. And Phillips, what an outstanding player as well. You know what? Just because we won, I've got to make sure someone's involved real quick. That's right, Peter Chamberlain. We're bringing him back to a winning team. I'll spend the 1 million. I haven't been able to spend money this whole rebuild. Peter Chamberlain came back. Call him a champion if you want. Call him a bandwagon if you want as well. In our Champions League winning season, we placed 3rd in the Bundesliga. We got knocked out in the semifinals of the DFB Pokal, and we won the Champions League. Now, within 11 seasons, starting in the German 3rd division, we got promoted after 2 or 3 seasons into the 2nd division, then instantly promoted to the Bundesliga, and we worked so dang hard to get back into the Champions League year after year, and finally, we won the Champions League. The real question is, though, how did it go? In this rebuild overall, it was a bit of a struggle. We had to start off spending the first 3 years just finding players in the first place, but in the end, we ended up winning 3 league titles. That's the German 3rd division, the 2nd division, and the 1st division once. 1 domestic cup in the DFB Pokal, and 1 continental cup, and 1 continental cup in the UEFA Champions League. Record transfer fee down there towards the bottom, 0. We didn't spend a single dollar on a single player this whole rebuild because all of them were from the academy. And you can see that as well by the 298 million I've been racking up in my budget over this time. Last thing I need to do before we end this rebuild is say goodbye to our 3 scouts who made this all possible. Bye. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to this part of the video, please like and subscribe and let me know how you enjoyed it down below. This was so much fun for me. I'm a big Dortmund fan, so it was awesome to get to reminisce on some of these players and strategize a little bit on how we were going to make this possible. And we did it. We won the Champions League. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.